We have a moon coming up in the sign of Pisces. It is going to be a seed planting for something that allows you to use your imagination, the power of your manifestation to make something new in your life that will come to fruition with an eclipse of a full moon in the sign of Pisces in the fall, September of 2025. This is not an ordinary lunation. This is a completely different order of energy. There's nothing you can compare it to in this lifetime. It has a first in a lifetime vibration. And that's because we have Neptune and Saturn co-present with this particular new moon that's going to happen at 9 degrees of Pisces. And for that to have happened, Saturn to be with Neptune here, well, this is going to lead to an eclipse from a seed planted now that's going to blow up in a destined way this fall. Add 6 months. We have to go back to the 1850s. So we're really experiencing something special. This is not an ordinary Pisces new moon seed planting. We're going to dive into the idea of this being about the power of the imagination. Not only is it in a powerful place in the sky with Saturn and Neptune co-present with a north node of destiny and fate, it is also connected to a beautiful star. The star is called Skat, and it is a star about making your wishes come true. It is a star that allows for you to use your imagination and to create something fresh and new. And there's a lot about this particular place in the sky, the third Decan or Decan of Pisces. It is also already about allowing yourself to walk away, like the Eight of Cups in the Tarot, from something that really does not suit you, that does not fulfill you, so that you can move towards something that truly does. So I'm not that mystical. You guys know that I'm all about world astrology and I'm very predictive, and I still am. But this is a very important star, and it's a very important new moon, and it is a seed planting. All new moons plant a seed for fulfillment and fruition, and this fruition comes with an eclipse on September 7th, this coming fall of 2025 in the sign of Pisces. So welcome. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and we had an earthquake today. I'm recording this on February the 21st for my Patreon community. You guys will be receiving this on a Monday. I want to tell you that I had a dream that there was an earthquake in Vancouver, and then I called my partner, James, and let him know all about the dream. And I may have mentioned the dream in one of my recent videos, but it's interesting because it was only 4.8. And my daughter felt it, and she called me today. She says, "Mom, did you feel the earthquake?" And I didn't feel it in this house that I'm in because it's an old wooden building, but she's in the new buildings that are made to sway with earthquakes. Now, I'm just not worried, to tell you the truth, that we're going to have a Vancouver earthquake. I dreamt about the earthquake in Vancouver being mild, but I've said this in so many videos, and this may be stale dated by the time you see this on Monday. There is going to be a major earthquake. It's in my 2025 predictions video recorded well before the earth started shaking in Santorini and everywhere else. And my gut tells me it's the western seaboard of the United States of America. It's the Cascadia Fault, I suppose, and like the name of the range where the earthquakes could happen. And I'm more inclined to say California than say Washington State or Oregon. And so that's what I've got for you. I'm concerned. I do think in the video I recorded at the beginning of the year that was out early January and it's pinned to my channel, I felt that this was like a big one, like the big one, something that's going to mobilize us, to make us feel like that collective gasp of concern, the way we all do when something horrible happens, like Fukushima or 9/11. I'm not trying to scare you, because this moon is about planting a positive new seed in our lives. But sometimes if you really think about it, it is literally because something catastrophic happens that we begin to reassess our life and ask ourselves what it is we actually truly want. And so, well, we don't all want to see that. I was in 9/11. I was close to 9/11 in the sense I lived outside of Washington, D.C. in Annapolis, Maryland. My husband worked a stone's throw from the Pentagon within a World Bank building. And I remember the feeling of not knowing if he was going to be home, if he's going to be safe. The phone lines were all jammed on the cell phones, which were these big honkers back then. And there was a sense of afterwards, when the whole thing, shook out. I even lived through the anthrax scares and mailboxes. There was a deep appreciation for what life was about and what I wanted in life and what I truly wanted to create in life. And although some of the shakeup of my psyche around the 9/11 event, and then shortly after the unexpected death of my mother, led to the end of my marriage, that ending of that marriage with a man with whom I had 2 children, was with for 20 years, became really good friends with afterwards. We did not have hardship there. was an important part of my soul's growth. So I'm only offering to you that, even though I'm going to tell you that this is a very powerful, very positive imagination moon in multiple ways. The Sabian symbol is an aviator in the clouds, and it actually talks about the power of the big picture view in our imagination, but also the Star Skat is all about using the power of the imagination to dream something into being. I'm going to read for you right now what the delineation in my software is for the Star Skat, SKAT. It says this is a wish star in Aquarius. I know it's in Pisces, but in sidereal real-time sky, it's actually Aquarius. A wish star in Aquarius, a lucky star. The best wishes come true. Lucky for any truth seeker, including scholars and mystics, grants psychic potential, warp speed wit and intellect, and the cautionary note, don't just dream it, do it. But if you can dream it, you can do it. And a lot of you know that I do have a mystical side. I don't know if you have ever read Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. He's one of my favorite authors of that kind of new thought, and it's one of my go-to books. So if you haven't, you might want to check it out, especially the Pisces. And, it's going to be the Pisces who are mostly impacted by this. And, well, not mostly, that's not true. So if you're a Scorpio or a Cancer, it's flowing to you and you're like, yay, me, I got this. I'm imagining everything I possibly could have in my life. Of course, if it's a Pisces, it's right there in your sign, sun, moon, or rising. You're totally jazzed. You're going for it. You Capricorn folk and you Taurus folk are sextile or in a flowing harmonious 2 signs away from this particular moon. And you've got this. You absolutely have it. Like you're like, yes, bring it on with ease and flow. I can plant new seeds and abandon the old. And then, of course, the angular signs, which mean the Virgo across the way, 180 degrees away, the Geminis and the Sagittarius square are going to Sag, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo have the most dramatic changes in their lives from this new beginning, this new seed planting, and this new moon. And yet all of the signs get some impact from it. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to have some story about it. I will go through your sign. That's the whole point of these videos. And this is going to be my Monday video for the week ahead, because the most important thing that's going to happen on the week of the 24th to the third, to the 1st or so or 2nd of March is this lunation. So this is the focus of our story. It's a dark and dreary day in Vancouver. You can see that my ring light shadow back there because it's so dark in here. Without a ring light, you wouldn't even see me because it is pouring rain, dark and cloudy and dreary. And I'm recording later in the afternoon. So okay, so a couple thoughts for you guys. First of all, does anybody want a little inspiration for this moon before we get going? And by inspiration, I mean, how about a few of the good old, Einstein quotes? Did you know that Einstein was an occultist and that he believed in astrology? Did you know that Carl Jung as well was an occultist and knew all about astrology? Shakespeare was, and Shakespeare was not who you think he was, and on and on. Founding fathers of the United States created the alignment of the star, one of the most magical and powerful stars, Sirius, on the sun of the United States. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. So I want to share with you these are a few of my favorite things, quotes, okay? And some stories and stuff like that. First of all, this Decan, the first Decan, 10 degrees of Pisces, right? Are people born February 19th to the 28th. But the real point of it is for the sun signs, it's just the idea of what it is. It literally is a theme of forsaking the familiar, encountering magic and mystery, leaving behind life's lessons, leaving behind the unknown, the known for the unknown, and learning from life's lessons and experiences. And, it is the 8 of Cups where we abandon. The tarot card that represents that Decan is the 8 of Cups. And it literally is what we need to walk away from so that we can experience something new and fresh. We need to sometimes leave behind something in order to experience what's deeper and more true for each of us. So it's not just about manifesting. If I was to manifest a Ferrari, I don't know if I wouldn't want a Ferrari, I'd have to give up my Honda, right? I have a Honda CRV, So you can manifest, but it has to take the place of something that, is in your life already. It's really hard to manifest a new relationship when you're already in one, because it means there's somebody that has to exit that space first, right? And if you don't do it that way, it's a hot mess. Einstein said, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination is everything. It is a preview of life's coming attractions. That's why I think it's true that sometimes I daydream and something I'm daydreaming comes to pass. One time I was writing a fiction novel called The God Box Lover, and there was going to be, this is a couple of 20 years ago, and there was a scene that I wrote with a chocolate body paint. You know, the boyfriend comes home in the novel and has chocolate body paint for a randy time in bed with his partner. And then that night I got home to my boyfriend's place. I was going to stay at his place that night. I had my own place, and he came in that door after work with a bottle of body chocolate. You can't make this stuff up. Yet that was my imagination making a story for a novel, a chapter in a novel that became a real thing that evening. Chicken and egg. Did I perceive the future, or did I imagine the future into being? And that is a question. Another great quote to do with our imagination from Einstein, Albert Einstein. I am enough of the artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. You can't make that stuff up, because of course these are amazing deeper truths, underneath everything else. And our imagination, did God make man in his image or his imagination? Right? So there were some inspiration quotes there. And if you have any other quotes that you love about imagination, I really appreciate if you'd share them in the comments for everyone to get excited about this power of our imagination to generate something in our lives, rather than being like always waiting for the forecast, the sword of Damocles to fall upon us. And here comes the earthquake. Here comes the third attempt on Donald Trump's to make him unalive. That's on the way. Okay, second attempt. If you don't think the second one was important, but it's coming. It's coming. I don't know how it's going to all play out. And so it was an earthquake, and it's in North America. I'm pretty sure. Like that's what I predicted in my 2025 intuition. Pre-video came out early January. Now, that said, I'm going to show you the sky so you can see what we're looking at. But I want to show you one more thing to really ratchet up for you how important this eclipse is. And a lot of people have been asking me about the planes falling from the sky. For a while, Icarus was tracking right next to the sun in the sign of Aquarius. And as Icarus, who fell from the sky as his wings melted, got too high and then fell from the sky. It's like the black helicopter may have been flying at too high altitude. We have the energy of seemingly a rash of plane crashes. Now, Icarus goes into the area of the sun. I think he takes 6 years to go around orbit the sun. I'll double check that, maybe 4, because he's in the Apollo asteroid belt. But sometimes the sky is literal. So I had a dream about a plane falling from the sky with a bunch of athletes on the plane. I shared that dream a couple of times on my channel late in the year, like in December, I believe. And it turned out to be that there was that plane with the athletes in it. It was the CRJ that collided with the Black Hawk, and it was figure skaters. But in the dream, I also felt really good because I felt it was a miracle save and nobody died. And I walked away from the crash and I was safe. Well, it turns out that that's the second plane crash we just had. The plane that went down in Toronto and turned upside down and skidded on the snow. And by the way, everybody miraculously was okay. And everybody has now been released from the hospital. So my dream was a blend of 2 particular crashes, or just the idea that a lot of crashes were going to happen. And in the dream, I was on the plane and I could see the athletes there, but I also felt like, wow, that was a miracle landing. And so my subconscious dreamed 2 things into being. I have been dreaming prophetically all my life. Okay, I've been dreaming about world events happening since I was a child. And they come true. North node eclipses in Pisces is this diagram. I'm showing you why. Just because I want you to understand that when I talk about this new moon, new beginning, seed planting, using your imagination to manifest, what I'm talking about is a seed that's being planted in a new beginning and a fresh start, a new moon at 9 Pisces that will then become a full moon on September 7th, 2025. But that full moon is also a full moon eclipse. And that's important because it means the seed that you plant becomes a massive wave of destined change, unlike any old normal Pisces new moon. And you can see the other North node eclipses in Pisces cycles in our past. For example, in September 7th of 2006, And August 28th of 2007, we had Pisces lunar eclipses, like we will have this September. As well, we see the same thing on August 27th of 1988. And I forgot to put in here, but there was also another eclipse, I believe, in early September or late August of 1989. So you can kind of compare the 88 to 89 and, the 2006 to 2007 year energies to this particular nodal cycle, so that this new moon in Pisces seed planting could overlap things that happened back then in 2006 and 7 and 88, 89, except that the big difference is, drum roll please, Neptune. Neptune entered into Pisces, the god of imagination, dreams, also delusion, illusion, mental illness, pharmaceuticals, manipulation, martyr savior complexes, unconditional love, enlightenment, filmography, videography, making the unreal seem real, high art. Neptune entered into Pisces, the sign of his modern dominion, and the sign of Jupiter's ancient dominion or house of belonging, or sign of belonging, rulership. And so we haven't had since the 1800s eclipse energy or new moons with eclipse energy in Pisces since then, the mid 1850s. So this makes this a particularly powerful cycle, unlike 2006, 7 and 88, 89. This is a whole different ball game. We're going to see a lot more UFOs, UAP, and disclosure stuff coming off of this moon. That's because Neptune, in concert with Pluto, has been connected to UFO sightings, and we are coming into a new sextile, as we did in the Roswell era, 45 to like early 60s, again in 1983 to late 80s, early 90s, and those were waves of Gulf Beach sightings, Communion by Whitley Strieber, John Mack writing Abduction, go back to Roswell, all the way up to Project Grudge and Project Blue Book in the late 50s, early 60s, and we had sightings. So we're back into another sextile energy forming between Neptune and Pluto. And it's really becoming really more intense in 2026, but 25, 26, 27. So that's not going to go away. So this is a new moon in Pisces, co-present with Neptune in Pisces, and Saturn, which is structure and reality. So what I'm going to boil it down to for your sign today is, how can you make the unreal real through the power of your imagination and the reality structures of Saturn? And how can this also, because it is also connected to that star, how can you harness on the wish fulfillment star and draw it in even closer and even more powerfully? It's a really good type of moon to do a manifestation, to do a dream board, a vision board, to do a long letter to the universe about what you want, a long letter to your current self from your future self about what you have manifested off of this moon and what you need to let go of, because you can't add something new, and to create space for it to come in by releasing something in your life to make space for that. For example, I let go of mostly doing, I was doing, I don't know how many readings, probably like 10, minimum of 10 readings a week. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm a prima donna, maybe 12. And I made a decision in the fall to not do that and only do 2 readings a week. And I made much more room for my Substack column, more my Patreon community, more video content for you guys. And so you have to let something go to liberate space, time, and energy for something new. And this manifestation energy is very important. So I'm hoping you'll be able to use it. I want everyone in the comments to add their favorite quote about imagination or manifestation, because it will inspire everybody else. And this is going to be one of my happy, happy days. Now, this one here, the good old Sabian symbol book, right, by Diana Urosh. All my favorite books are in my description box below my video. And if you haven't signed up for my Venus class yet, please do. Venus Retrograde 6-week journey with me. We'll be diving deeply into all things Venus Retrograde with a weekly call, bi-weekly Q&As, a Facebook group, a collaging party, etc. We're going to take this very powerful Venus Retrograde journey together. And we're starting on the March 1st. I think I'll let enrollment stay open for a week. And there might be still a 15% code off right now for a discount. So catch the wave, look below, see if you want to jump in and join us. But in the meantime, just let me see. That's the more button ... Okay, Pisces 10, an aviator in the clouds. Now, of course, we're already thinking about planes falling from the sky. I get it. But global perspective. The theme says observations in global perspective by this author. The symbol speaks to rising above the limitations of eye-to-eye problem solving and viewing things from a higher and more holistic point of view. The image of an aviator in the clouds emphasizes imagination, exploration, and curiosity. The implication is that this degree refers to creative and abstract thinking and the development and testing of new ideas. At its highest, the symbol represents broad-mindedness, exceptional scope of vision, and the ability to foresee and plan effectively for future needs. And she has this lovely little keyword section that she has every time. I love her keywords. Her keywords are transcendence, exploration, perspective, observation, vision, domination, going beyond, rising above, abstract thinking, and long-range planning. I think it's long-range imagining myself. We're going to be Imagineers on this moon. Let's imagine something individually and collectively. I hope it isn't a catastrophic earthquake or tsunami. Both are. Okay, so let me just say this in case my video editor wants to use this. Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful full moon, new moon. Sorry. This is a beautiful new moon that allows for us to grab the power of a wish fulfillment star scat and be able to manifest something in the 6 months that follows the seed planting of this Pisces new moon that's going to occur on the 9th degree of Pisces, which is a magical degree, and it is going to happen in our lives, this particular moon, on 27th of February. However, it also bodes unwell, perhaps for water events, particularly tsunamis and earthquakes that could occur within the first 2 weeks after this lunation. Cut. So that was just in case he wants to make a short out of it. It does have downsides because we have a whole extra weight in water. And we also have the sea serpent Gong Gong traveling through Pisces. And that is a water serpent asteroid hovering around Saturn that can lead to difficult circumstances connected to water. So if you have an earthquake, you have a tsunami. All righty. But in our own lives, we're not an earthquake or a tsunami. We are individual beings with a little divine spark in us to paint on the canvas of reality with our imagination. Carolyn Casey, a wonderful astrologer, says that Neptune, your imagination lays the tracks for the reality train to follow. Your imagination lays the tracks for your reality. Your imagination lays the tracks for the reality train to follow. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what that sky speaks to. Hope that wasn't too long of an intro. I do What in the World Wednesdays, but I'm going to have to stop it. I might just make it a membership, a paid program. Come, be a member, and it's killing my algorithm. I'm getting 50% less views, 68% on the last one. And the problem with that is it's algorithmic toxic spill in the algorithm. And if the algorithm is very picky, if it sees you keep putting stuff out that doesn't do well, they begin to pull you away from you in terms of sharing your content. So it's not about whether I'm a wimp about getting bad numbers. It's the bad numbers drag the channel down in its growth. All right. So it's not, oh, Lori is a prima donna, she needs to get big numbers. It's that this is a toxic spill in the algorithm. So not enough people want to know about world astrology alone. And so I will make that a paid member feature and or start a new channel if I have time about what in the world events. Otherwise, I'll lace world astrology in as I see it in the intros to all of my videos. Now, let's go ahead and look at the sky here. You've got to admit, this is crazy ass, right? Just so you know what you're looking at. That's Icarus over here. He was with that sun for, 30 days as the sun went through Aquarius. And so Icarus and his proximity to the sun seemed to have correlated Icarus to a huge number of planes that fell from our sky. Unfortunately, now the sun is 9 degrees away as I'm recording on February 27th. Hopefully that indicates a decreasing aptitude for things to fall out of the heavens with people aboard. Eeks. Now, this is a star scat that is your wish fulfillment star, right? Yes. And this is the asteroid Child. Now, childlike wonder, anybody? Childlike innocence, childlike awe. I'll take it. Childlike wonder, innocence, and awe. And this asteroid for childlike something or other, the asteroid Child, connected to the 9-degree sun and moon conjunction, right? Adds up to a 13, by the way, because it's 9 minutes and 40, 9 degrees and 40 minutes is a 9 till 13. It's a death card, death and rebirth. Where are you going to death and rebirth something in your life? It ultimately needs to be considered. And this is the asteroid house, Atlantis. Oh, that's the asteroid house. This is the asteroid Atlantis. And they are really tightly connected to this particular moon. Now, Atlantis, because if we have a tsunami or an earthquake, I wouldn't doubt that something is going to show up underneath the ocean. We're going to find something new. I keep waiting for the lost city or information to be revealed about Atlantis. This is also the asteroid house. And we have house, Atlantis, and we have what we call a wedge. Wedges are kinetic energy, like a door stopper, where the tension between the house of Atlantis in the watery sign of Scorpio, where hidden things can be revealed, house in the sign of land, right, with earthquake prone algal star Uranus right now, right next door. And then we have a sextile to watery Pisces, and the asteroid Gong Gong is in there near to, I believe, Saturn right now, which is a sea serpent that causes world catastrophes in Chinese lore. Oh, okay, well, this doesn't look good, right? You can say that even though it's flowing energy in a sextile and a trine, we have an opposition between Atlantis and co-present Uranus with house. So houses shaking and water rising, or water pulling back, or water tsunamiing, I don't know. But Atlantis was overcome by floods. All right, there's another side to Atlantis. Some kind of catastrophic flooding took down Atlantis. So that's a little worrisome for the world. So that's my world astrology for you. If we all have a collective global gasp like 9/11 and we use it correctly, instead of hating on each other and making up non-existent wars, we could actually, kumbaya a bit. It would be wonderful. I've told this story before. I'll tell it one last time. After the fake weapons of mass destruction led to the invasion of Iraq, before that happened, when it was being announced that the U.S. was going to go to war over a non-issue, I had two friends that worked in intelligence agencies, and they were high up and they were close friends. And they both told me the same story. There are no weapons of mass destruction. The government's going ahead making up a war. It's been really hard to be a Cassandra. Was a proxy war in Russia. I announced that in Ukraine, that the United States was engaging in a proxy war. I announced that it was a lab leak early on. Of course, some people still think it wasn't. You're living in another land. The virus was a lab leak. So, I often see things ahead of the curve. People think I'm wrong or I know better, and I'm not. I'm right. But Cassandra is in my 10th house. So she tells prophecy that no one believes. And you just have to live with this curse. Okay. But I'm going to say I do still think there is a sky from this new moon that looks daunting for tsunamis and earthquakes and floods. And here's the thing. A new moon can display its true hand, like a poker hand, anytime in the month afterwards. Usually it's within 2 weeks. All right. Same with a full moon. But ultimately, the themes that are generated under the seed planting of any new moon unfold fully, like continue to roll out towards the full moon, and that's in September. So it can have a much longer rollout than simply just the next 2 to 3 weeks after this lunation, right? Keep it in mind. Now, the thing I want to say about the sky is that Jupiter is the ruler of this moon, and he's on a very powerful star, the bullseye star, the eye of the bull, Aldebaran, a powerful star, also a war star. But Jupiter likes to bring peace, and he's moving forward. Peace between warring brothers or twins or neighbors, Gemini, that is Ukraine, Russia. That war is coming to an end. It is dead on the vine. And of course, so is the war in the Middle East, because the war in the Middle East was correlated or precipitated in a correlation between an eclipse on the ascendant of Israel that happened in October of 2000 and South Node eclipse of 2023. But every time Israel has eclipses on its ascendant, it is at war with its neighbors. And then when the eclipse phase wears off, which is 18 months, the war comes to an end. And so we're in the post 18-month window. The eclipse cycle is waning. However, the Aries eclipse of March 29th still activates the house of open enemies for the nation of Israel and can indeed indicate some more turbulence ahead. It's a longer, more winding road to a conclusion to that war, because there is no goodwill for peace coming from Israel itself. So let's go ahead and talk about, and don't comment to me about my bias. All right. I'm just a normal human in the world who sees what's happening. The majority of the world sees what's happening. Now let's go ahead and talk about ICC and ICJ. Yeah. All right. Let's clear this drawing and if you don't like my channel, you don't have to be here. So you can go somewhere else. Now, I don't suffer fools gladly. I got Pluto in my sign. We're going to start with Aries. We're going to go around the wheel, and I want you to listen for your sun sign if you want to focus on career. I'm getting a internet slowdown signal. I want you to focus on your sun sign. if you want to focus on career matters. I want you to focus on your moon if it's about home matters. But your rising sign is everything about you. It's you in the matrix. It's you in the simulation. You have to play a game. You got to choose an avatar or a character in the video game. That's your ascendant. It's how you come into the world. It's what you look like. It's your body mind complex. It's how you show up in this world. It's your character. Your actor self is your deepest self. It's the game player self. It's the sun. Okay. Your soul is the sun. And so if you're listening for your sun, sometimes it's where you're more in alignment with your soul. If your sun sign's resonating with you, you're going to say, my eternal being, my core essential nature is running my show. I'm less inclined to operate simply from the layer of my ascendant, the character. Ideally, the character and the ascendant work together. The ascendant and the truth, the game player and the avatar are in sync, ideally, right? And a lot of times in life, not everyone gets this. Your progressed ascendant will cross your sun, or your progressed sun will cross your ascendant. And then you merge. I've already had that happen to me. You merge the character with the soul or the sun, the identity of your true self. And so in that regard, some of us are living that alignment. Okay, so I'm going to start with Aries. We're going to go through the sky. I'm going to be about 5 minutes per sign. I hope you enjoy this. I can't wait to see some of your quotes about manifestation and imagination in the comments, or songs that you love that make you think about the power of imagination. Like for me, it's like, we have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. Xanadu, Olivia Newton-John. Okay, let's get going and do your sign. All righty, let's go ahead and grab the Aries people and we'll get moving through your sign. And yes, Aries to start. So don't forget, this is magical. This is mysterious. This has got not seen since the 1850s. We're going to call it, I think I'll call this video, first in a lifetime new moon in Pisces, magical and enchanting. So let's go ahead. If you happen to be looking at this lunation, Aries, in your powerful 12th house of spiritual enlightenment, you might think this could be a time to join an ashram, find a guru, and wake up. Because honestly, the 12th house can bring that kind of intense, beautiful spiritual revelation to your life. And with Neptune and Saturn there, of course, bringing the idea of making the unreal real and tangible, you might even bump into Jesus in your bedroom or Buddha in your bathroom or something crazy. It's very wild, very powerful energy. Skat, a wish fulfillment star, tells you to dream big, to fantasize into what it is you want, to make your wishes true. And Child says, engage the innocent wonder that you're capable of. The 12th house is an alone house. It's where you spend time in solitude and contemplation and away from everything. And so this is a very beautiful time for you during this actual new moon to do that. And maybe to also meditate, pay attention to your dreams. Mercury, the dream messenger, next to Neptune, the imagination, tells me all about some powerful visions and dreams that may come through your meditations, your shamanic journeys, certainly through your dreams at night. The energy here of Apollo, I forgot to mention that in the world astrology, is sitting in your 10th house of career. What is it you wish to dream into being so that you can be the solar leader, the solar god that you're capable of being in the career? A lot of this may involve a reimagining of your career path from the deep place within yourself. And if you have any way in which you undo yourself, you have an addiction, a self-undoing, those stuff, the self-sabotages of the 12th house where you can be your own worst enemy, then this new moon allows you to have a fresh start, but maybe using the power of visualization in order to overcome. I do want to mention that Jupiter owns the Pisces real estate in the ancient world. He's on that massively bullseye, powerful star, Aldebaran, and he witnesses this moon from a square. Don't be afraid of the square at all. The square is where you're propelled to action and decisions that must be made in a timely manner. And Jupiter is the golden opportunity guy. What golden opportunity may come to you from a foreign place, far off land and shore in the wake of this new moon? Within the 2 weeks that follow, or even up to the 6 months? Is it a writing project, a teaching project, a travel opportunity, a learning opportunity? These are all third house matters, and Jupiter connects the dots to far off distant lands and travel. Also, if you're somebody who wants to teach, or if you're really looking at a new path for learning, golden opportunities for learning or teaching are emerging for you. But what is it you wish to learn or teach or find? Because dream into it. I've always wanted to get my Masters of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. I'm an Aries sun and moon, which is true. Had a scholarship, never did it, had a baby at home, lived in Washington, D.C., couldn't commute to Fairfield, where what was that name of that school? Famous Masters of Fine Arts Writing School in Virginia. Anyway, so redream an old dream into being for some of you. Find something that is definitely deep and true. House is in your second house. The asteroid house is in a sextile. This could propel you to dream into your life a new home, especially with Mars moving through your fourth house. I'm going to say that some of you may be dreaming a new home into being. And with asteroid Atlantis in your eighth house, past lives and connections to the Atlantean past lives that you had may emerge in your consciousness over the course of the 2 weeks that follow this particular moon. And with Mars going direct in your fourth house, right? And he'll be there through till the mid-April. There's something about this moon that says, yes, throughout the months that follow this lunation, some of you may have the capacity to dream into being the financial means in order for you to change your home or purchase a home or move your home. And that looks exciting as well. Or purchase a new car. It sounds crazy, but Mars is moving vehicles and possessions is the second house, or maybe purchase a new vehicle. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. This beautiful wish fulfillment, star-studded new beginning, imagination in station, Imagineer energy is available to plant a new seed of what you want and desire in the house of your hopes and desires. And so it really says it's for you particular to really dream into what you want to have happen in your life, what dreams and goals you do have, a new beginning and a fresh start with childlike wonder in a house of friendship, a house of social groups, a house of your tribes of belonging could invite you to new energy there and a new beginning. And with Saturn, reasonable and realistic outcomes that also reach the heights of your Neptunian imagination are available. This is allies and elder sibling and people who tried to support you because they're they've got favors coming out of they got favors overflowing for you. These are your well-wishers and your allies, and they are new beginnings and new moons. And I don't know, maybe you're going to find that you're suddenly able to attract a lot of support from people who care about you for whatever it is you wish to have happen in your life. The asteroid house right here, I'll make sure that is house. Yes, is sitting in your first house or with your sun and moon in Taurus. And so some of you are very preoccupied with your home or home and land and property and real estate, and especially since the new moon involves the sun, which rules the house of home, domestic life, and land. And there may be a lot of interesting shakeup or instability regarding the question of home. And maybe some of you are really considering whether you want to change your home or if you need to move or sell a home as well, or change your neighborhood. Something along those lines where Mars is sitting. But you can dream into being your perfect neighborhood, your perfect home, your perfect outcome regarding home, property, and real estate matters, especially the word expenses when it comes to home. Jupiter is in the house of money and earnings and resources. He's now going direct from fixed star Aldebaran, the bullseye star. You're going to be on a bullseye now, ever since you did head direct early February through to June the 9th, for you to accumulate the financial resources you need in order to have the life you want right now. And it is a beautiful energy to see that as Jupiter witnesses this new beginning and he watches this new seed planted in his home, he wants to also increase your career gains. You might get the promotion or raise or a new job that allows for greater success financially based on the career path you've chosen. This could be something evident for you in the couple of weeks after the new moon or up to the 6 months after, coming through to the September eclipse, which you're going to have a massive change of job. Don't think you have to change your career gains or your job at this point. Every new moon plants a seed that can fully ripen 6 months later, which in this case would be September. Opportunities for short distance travel may emerge off of this lunation, particularly short distance travel with friends as opposed or an elder sibling as opposed to anybody else. Or finally, travel connected to work opportunities as well. And that could show up a lot sooner. Apollo, the sun god, shining his bright starlight of a sun in your 9th house could indicate there's some inciting incident that could allow you to travel to far off distant shores, Pilgrimages and spiritual journeys are the purview of the ninth house, also higher education and university. And some of you may be pondering all of that, maybe going to school, applying for university. Maybe you want to go off and take a journey for your spiritual quest or a deeper connection to yourself. Because this moon is about your dreams and wishes anyway, with the Star Skat and with the energy of the aviator and the clouds of imagination, Sabian symbol. I've introduced this in the intro. You definitely can look at this as a kind of germinating seed in the house of your wishes and dreams for the dreams of spiritual sustenance, spiritual connection, spiritual journeys and travel, as well as a bigger amplification for opportunities for education over the months that follow. And of course, some of this could show up in the couple of weeks that follow after the moon as well. I'm not reminding everybody, but if you want to check out my Venus retrograde class, you're going to get this video on a Monday the 24th. So my class starts March the 1st. I'm not going to recreate the description. It's in the intro as well, but check the description box below if you want to do a 6-week live class with me. Thanks. Now, this moon on the 27th, and it depends on where you live. It can be the 28th as well. But the point of this lunation in your 10th house as a Gemini sun, moon, and rising is it's really seeding something new in your career, right? You're wanting to plant something new. If it's your Gemini sun in particular, it's a new career beginning. If it's your moon, it could be about a home related to your career, like and you change a home because of a change of career or work. And of course, if it's your ascendant, it's definitely anything about your career that wants to change. And you want to imagine something here. You want to use the power of that star, that beautiful Star Skat, to visualize what it is you actually want to create. Okay. Don't leave it to chance here. Take some time to vision board, to meditate, to write down in a journal what your dreams are for your career path. Let yourself be a participant here. In reality, it's co-creative, And so childlike wonder and visionary powers make a dream career come true. And pay attention to emails and calls and messages that follow the 2 weeks after this moon. Mercury is up there, that may give you clues as to what's happening. Because Gemini, you do have Jupiter in your sign, and you are quite fortunate as he moves direct till June the 9th. He is the Lord of the lunation. I had someone comment on my channel it was on my Patreon community, that their life has been hell and they're a Gemini rising. Jupiter's in their sign. Why isn't their life going super swell? Well, Jupiter was retrograde forever, right? You just turned direct in February. But more than that, Jupiter gives you what you need. He is literally the old Rolling Stones song. You don't always get what you need, you get what you want, because he's wisdom and truth. He's guru. He knows what's best for you, right? So you don't always get what you want with Jupiter. If you ever watch him go through someone's marriage house, he often kills the marriage. It's time to end that marriage. Every 12 years, he tests the marriage. So so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, you are benefiting from the good fortunes of the greater benefic on the bullseye star, watching a new beginning and a seed planting in your 10th house of career. So what else can you do with that? Well, it looks like that new beginning, that new seed planting is in a very powerful flow to Apollo in the house of chunky money. That can be revenues from ad income, royalty income, tax rebates, shared income with the banks and stocks. Stock investments. I'm just starting to set up my corporate stock investing account. I just looked into it this week. That's probably a part of this moon coming my way, because I should get back into investing. I used to be a psychic stock picker. I should go back and do that again. Why not? And I haven't done it for decades, but it's time. So I can see how it works for me. I'm a progressed Gemini sun, if you wonder why I'm mentioning this. And I know your progressed placements are not as important as your natal. You can see that the asteroid Atlantis is being loved up by this moon in the 6th house. Can you bring the work you're here to do in alignment with your Atlantean lifetime? What were you doing? A high priest, a healer, or a seer? I was a sage in Atlantis telling the future. And also you might notice that you have the energy here of the asteroid house in the 12th house. Now the 12th house represents far off distant shores, and there may be a call for you to move your home or your house to a distant shore. It doesn't have to be a foreign foreign country, but you might find that your career could ask you to do that as well. You could get an opportunity to work for an international company, or like me, your digital income borderless revenue can be where house is, and you may find another house to create that in. If you live in LA, then New York City is another distant shore. So it can be within your own country. All right, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. It is a beautiful seed planting, imagination rich, manifestation rich new moon on the wish fulfillment star Skat. Go listen to the intro for more. All connected to the ninth house, which is the house of God. It's a house of spiritual attainment, a spiritual questing, a pilgrimages, a temples, religion, churches, mosques. It's where you find pastors, preachers, and gurus hanging out. And so there's a big energy around this. And, stellium, with childlike wonder and imagination playing a big part with the asteroid child. Is there any chance that you're looking also at the possibility of a birth of a grandchild? Anytime I see child in a new moon, new beginning in the house of grandchildren, some cancers will find grandchild stories emerging in the 6 weeks from this moon. New beginnings, new grandchildren. How can you make some dharmic dreams come real? Dharmic meaning, your life has a true north, a compass point. You know the difference between operating your zone of mediocrity, your zone of excellence, and your zone of genius. And this is a moon that says operate in your zone of genius. Imagine what that looks like. If you don't even know what your zone of genius is, your dharmic path, the use of your talents and gifts, no worries. Just ask the universe to show it to you. So there's something about alignment with one's deepest purpose. On a very mundane note, your ninth house is legal and court matters, book publishing, academics and universities and colleges, and visas and far off travel. Certainly there's opportunity emerging from this lunation for some journeys abroad, from things that you want to do that would be beautifully aligned with higher education, professional of education in particular, because of the Venus story in your 10th house, and matters perhaps connected to finding a deeper justice in life, maybe winning at a legal court a matter that has been challenging you, especially with Apollo in the 7th house, giving you some power to win and negotiate and contracts and agreements and mediate around legal matters. Now, look, you can also wonder aloud, why do you have the asteroid Atlantis in the 5th house? Well, Atlantis is that sort of flooded, lost, antediluvian civilization of great magic and mystery and apparently technological power. But your 5th house is what inspires you, what brings you to life, what alives you, what makes you feel like you want to get out of bed in the morning. And it's flowing to the 9th house. And so that's your dharma. Find a deeper substructure for what brings you joy, because Atlantis might be reminding you of sort of an echo of something from another life, that you were a part of that, and maybe it involved your creativity. Maybe you were an artist in Atlantis, maybe you were a healer in Atlantis, but whatever you were, something about your natural talents could actually come back to Atlantis. I know it's far-fetched, but your natural talents and abilities that you come into this life with are from the 5th house. And you can see that you've got the asteroid house in the 11th house. You might want to fill your house with friends. You might be looking in the wake of this to have siblings visit your house or visit the house of a sibling, especially a sibling one older. And this may propel you to journey to visit a sibling one older or vice versa. And it may be exciting and surprising, or you and a sibling one older could travel around the world or something like that. All right, that's what I got for you. And let me know how that goes. Put a quote down below about one of your favorite imagination or manifestation quotes. I'd love to hear it. I really would. I'm going to start, really getting excited by what people come up with. I had a couple Einsteins in the intro. Now, February the 28th. Oh, yeah. Okay, so next it is Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I will be doing a chocolate break at Libra. This is Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. All right, guys, wish fulfillment star, Skat, new beginnings with childlike wonder, but it's a money house. So I'm going to give you some thoughts here. In what way are you wishing to work less and have money more? Are you going to start doing stock investing off of this? Are you going to rely on some spousal support or inheritance money? Are you going to ask the universe to give you just chunks of money so that you don't have to work so hard? 8th house finances are activated big time. But deeper than that, this is the occult mysteries. I talk to dead people. I channel, angels and aliens. You know what I mean? It's like you got something juicy going on here. Don't squander this. It's a once in a lifetime vibe. And if you've always wanted to take a course in channeling or learn how to talk to the dad, or maybe take a course in astrology or numerology or tarot, this is your chance, because you're almost like a childlike wonder is opening up here for deeper immersion into those mysteries. And this is a house that can be called the esteem of others as well. And maybe you're going to find a more of a sense of you're generating a lot of appreciation in your life by other people during this cycle. This new moon is planting the seed on the 27th, where it fulfills itself in September on a full moon eclipse. This is also governed by Jupiter in the house of great gains, and you may have some career success increasing off of this moon financially and in your career reputation. Maybe also some support from an elder sibling or some large groups of friends and allies who are also just cheering you on and really aligning with you during this time. I wonder about the asteroid house in the 10th house, because it can say that maybe you want to maybe have a career path that you get to work from home. Maybe you want to find your home in your career and you're not sure you found it yet. You might see that there's an energy of Atlantis in the 4th house that says, do you have ancestral roots and soul roots from Atlantis that are literally sort of shaking up things in your career? There's a need to break free and break through for Leos right now around career matters. That's the Uranian impulse, to find a breakthrough and some freedom up there. Apollo's in the 6th house of work. Apollo's in the 6th house of health. And you may be finding yourself in that regard, or even in the profound connection to the Atlantis and the 8th house new moon, a new pet coming your way that you feel like you've had many, many lifetimes together with, and maybe even comes from a recent passing of a pet, or, an old passed on soul of a pet returns. By the way, if you think this is nuts, you won't believe this. I got to tell you guys a story about pets, because you could get a new pet from this. My dog Delilah died at 16 years old in my arms of old age. And then I didn't want to get a dog for years. And 4 years later, I got a black German Shepherd puppy. I had a dream I was supposed to get a black puppy. I didn't know it was a Shepherd. And the next day I got a notice that someone had these black Shepherds, and I looked at them and I got the run to the litter, the last one left. I didn't get to choose. Her name was Leela. She was all black because her dad was a black show dog and the mom was just a regular Shepherd. She lost her puppy hair and she came with eyeshadow, a dot on her thing, and all the white paw and the white bib markings of my former dog, who was a Hound Shepherd mix. And the day I took her home from the pet place and I brought her home, like, not the pet, was a breeder, home breeder. That night I went to sleep and I had a dream of my former dog bounding across the field and jumping up and greeting me. And I knew that it was the soul of my former dog before the black puppy hair came out. So that's to tell you, I know this thing sounds weird, but puppies and animals and cats have souls just like humans, and they come back for their owners when they can. And so you guys might be having a return of a former animal coming back to you in the 6 months that follows this lunation, if not sooner, the 2 months as well. Now, you may have some unexpected developments going on around finances in your home, but they look more positive than anything else. So keep that in mind as well. I'm going to hope you don't have flooding in your home, because Atlantis flooded and there's a lot of water going on here. So watch for some unexpected flooding in your home as a result of this moon. Definitely get your sandbags out if you need them. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, first of all, this is a huge amount of energy in your 7th house. And I was just listening to a fellow astrologer sort of complain to her audience, well, you always say, why am I, you're just talking about love and marriage for me? I'm a Virgo. Would you change the topic? No, you have a freaking rare stellium early March and end of March, like once in a lifetime, pile up of 5 planetary bodies in your house of marriage. So we have to talk about it. It's like the thing that's the elephant in the room, right? So, all right. So Virgos, whether you're with someone or not, there's a lot going on in the house, is the one you're with, right? Or the one you're not with. So single Virgos, look at that stellium, new moon, new beginning. You might find yourself with a new person, a soulmate for sure. We got that Neptune energy up there. Venus is coming back to hook up with Neptune, twin flame, soulmate love. So you're going to find that this could be a moon that generates a love of a lifetime. And so good for you. If you're with someone, it can elevate the relationship to a new stature. We know living together, propose for marriage, especially with Jupiter in the 10th house of weddings, announcing we're going to be married, for example, So that could happen in the 6 months after, or moving in together, or announcing yourself as a monogamous couple. Upgrades of relationship status can happen in the 2 weeks after and 6 months after this moon. So keep track of that. This is also on that wish fulfillment star. What do you wish to see happen in your marriage, in your business partners, in your relationship to your clients and audience and marketplace? What's your dream come true here? Can you visualize? But can you invite your partner to visualize with you? Because by the way, maybe it's their wishes and dreams that are on the menu and what they desire to see in their lives. And maybe as a Virgo, you're witnessing them go through this childlike wonderment and visualization of their dreams, and you're supporting them, especially for their dreams when it comes to their career being on the bullseye. And maybe you can wish them well and help them wish it into being. Now, Apollo in the house of children and pregnancy, be careful. Uranus is also up there in the house of grandchildren, but all said and done, unexpected grandchildren or children, pregnancy, fertility, things like that are on the menu for some of you here in the sky. I don't think it'd be a hardship. Even an unexpected pregnancy would be welcome under the sky, but it could indicate Apollo, the sun god in the house of fertility. But again, it's great for singletons meeting a really powerful solar light partner of sexual and romantic love coming into your life to light up your life. You light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. The whole gig, right? You have house in the 9th house. Are you thinking of moving your house to another country? Are you thinking of moving your home to another land? And maybe this moon will help you figure out whether you want to spend some time in a far offshore or distant land or a foreign country, maybe a second home. Maybe it's time to move your home. And, Jupiter does want your career to be successful, but you have to understand your career success comes from how you connect to your wishes and dreams and how you relate to your audience and marketplace or clients and customers, because that's the 7th house stellium. Atlantis is flowing to this moon from your 3rd house. And, that's flooding in the neighborhood. Maybe if I just take it literally, you might have some flooding in your neighborhood. All right. Just going to keep it simple. Otherwise, does your current neighborhood remind you of Atlantis or your neighbors? All right. Could you take a trip? With this energy, you could take a trip to an exotic temple or far off land in the 6 months that follows that reminds you of Atlantis. Like, you're going to go see a site and you have a suspicion it was, a part of the Atlantean diaspora or something like that, like Machu Picchu or something. But, what people don't get is all these iconic, giant blocks like the pyramids or Machu Picchu. And I've been to those places both. These were not constructed using pulleys and ropes, right? These were the diaspored Atlanteans like Göbekli Tepe leaving evidence and information and mathematical codes for us, for those of us who are here to decode it today. So, travel somewhere where there's an Atlantean vibe. Now I'm going to do Libra and then take a quick chocolate break. Don't forget, I have a course I keep forgetting to share. It's in the intro, but you want to come aboard my Venus retrograde class for 6 weeks. It's quite affordable. Venus 15 degrees off code still available, I think. And if you want to join in, we have live meetings, replays available, bi-weekly Q&As, a Facebook group, and more. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'd love to have you in the class. It's a very beautiful Venus retrograde cycle, and it's got a lot of intensity and a lot of beauty. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is so amazing to see that you're having this incredible new beginning in your workhouse. And I know a few Libras who are ready to jump ship on the current work that they're doing. And so this is like, what is this doing for you? You could dream, imagine, visualize your dream work situation. I don't just mean your career, like I'm a brain surgeon or I'm a novelist. No, like the office you work in, the place that you work, the environment, the people you work with, whether they're your colleagues, coworkers, or your employees, dreaming into being the setting and the stage of the work and service you do in this world for the highest good of all. You can also use this new moon to visualize with childlike wonder your better health outcomes in life and how your health can improve by the power of your magical imagination. And if you listen to the intro, you'll learn more about that powerful star that's connected to this particular wish fulfillment power, that this is a very beautiful lunation giving this to you. Jupiter is the ruler of the lunation and witnesses it from your ninth house, squaring, and on the bullseye star Aldebaran. And he literally says, does your work and career involve a foreign entity, foreign country, foreign company, foreign shore? Does it revolve around matters that can connect you to visionary abilities to align your deepest purpose with your work? Is your work connected to publications, teaching? And if so, this is going to help escalate and improve that, but you'll have decisions and actions you must take between now and June 9th that Jupiter says opportunity beckons, like to teach abroad, to educate abroad, to become educated in your career abroad, or just educated, period, universities, colleges, to get a book publishing deal, to get your book publishing thing super successful, all of that stuff. Now, the asteroids are fun, because you do have like this cool energy of Apollo flowing, the sun god flowing to the stellium in Pisces. And so it can indicate some kind of solar power connected to home and work. Now, one thing it could do is bring you a new pet. But another thing it could do is mean changes in your routines of work connected to your home. Maybe the company wants you to work from home more or less from home, or you need to change your home, but it's a powerful yes. Mars is opposing that fourth house that he exalts from the career house. Could be some of you may have to change your home because you may be moving significantly for a golden career opportunity. When? In the 6 months that follow this moon, right? Every 6 new moon seed, it leads to this one, a very important September 7th eclipse. And so this could be a huge residential change because of a work change in the months that follow. But we'll look to the first 2 weeks that follow and dream into being what you would love to see. If you work for an international company, do you want to have them relocate you or something? Or will you look for a job in another country or something like that? Who knows? Atlantis is hanging out in your earnings house. So I have no idea. It's a flood. It's a flood. It was flooded. It was destroyed. The lost civilization. Maybe a flood of money is coming to you, if I want to go very literally. An unexpected flood of money is coming your way connected to your work. And it may impact the 8th house with house. Okay, like you may be flooded with a possibility of some family of origin money from a father figure, whether it's a grandfather or father figure. They might be giving you some money, a trust fund, an inheritance in the 6 months that follows. And this could also influence your choice of home and also what you wish to do in the work you're doing. And you may have more freedom because of these chunks of money coming at you to, income increase. Not worry about your income as much as you would normally do, and find a path that's more satisfying. Now, this girl is going to finish the rest of the signs. It's getting so dark here with a bit of chocolate. And I do realize that I'm getting jiggy jaggies. I need a new computer. I'm buying one on Monday because I think it's the actual hard drive is too full. And I don't have the time or patience to try to figure out what needs to be deleted. I'll be right back after a short chocolate break. So let's get going and let's do Libra. I hope I'm not stalling out on your end. What the hell is going on here? Hang on a sec. I've got something playing in the background. That didn't help. Podcast. I don't even listen to the podcast app. How could that be playing in the background? OMG. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out why it's so jiggy. All right. Yeah. Let's get going. Back to the business at hand. Yeah. So I finished Libra. We're doing Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, guess what? A new beginning, as a seed is planted. It's on a wish fulfillment Star Skat. Yeah. And it can last for up to 6 months. We're waiting for the eclipse in September, the Pisces full moon eclipse, to fulfill the seed you plant now. This is why it's so magical. It's with Neptune, imaginations, Saturn, make it real. Neptune, let's think about it, dream about it, talk about it. And where is it? It's in your house of fertility, children, pregnancy. I'm not going to kid you. The asteroid Child is on a new moon in this part of your sky. If you're not having a baby, I'd be surprised, but you can have a baby book, a baby album, a baby gallery showing of all your art. This is your creative artistic house, and there's a new beginning, a childlike wonder, and a baby. Oops, sorry. I'm going to move us back by a day and ahead by an hour. There's a method to my madness. And so This new moon in your fifth house is really good for the muse. Like the muse has got your back. You've got them like a childlike wonder. The muse is speaking to you. She wants to whisper in your imaginal ear a new song, a new book, a new poem, a new screenplay, a new something or other. Create something out of this. Use your imagination, do a vision board, do a collage, do a something creative. Of all things, the house of your creative energies is activated, procreative and creative. So there you go. Now, because this is such a fertile house, it is very pregnancy oriented. And when I look at that, child asteroid, a lot of you or your partner may have a pregnancy going on in the 6 months that follows this new moon. You also might notice that you have the energy of Jupiter, the Lord of the lunation, witnessing it from your eighth house of the dead. I'm not going to weird you out, but if you do get pregnant or your partner, it could be your or their, ancestral line coming through as a fertility moment. I find this is fun because my daughter is my grandmother and she knows it too. We laugh about it all the time. So you would be very aware of this when the child's like 2 or 3 and you see traits that family member had. So that's the kind of vibe there. However, chunky money is on the menu. Fixed star Aldebaran. Jupiter wants to bring you more money that you don't earn directly, that you share with others, resources like taxes, inheritances, etc. He is flowing to Pluto. You've been under a kind of chunky money inheritance type transit for a while now, since last year in May, and it closes out on June the 9th. So I think that Jupiter could also bring you some money luck. And why? Because the fifth house is speculative gains. It's literally winning the lottery, winning the casino, winning the gaming thingy. Be careful, know your limit, play within it, be serious, don't gamble because of a stupid astrology channel, entertainment purposes only, as all the tarot readers say. But honestly, you could win some money on this one too. So it's not a bad idea for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising to go about buying one single ticket on the lottery or whatever you want to do, or bet on a horse race or something one single time. Don't bet your life savings. Let's be serious. Around February 27th, right? A day before or after, buy the ticket. It's all good and see what happens. It is also Uranus, the god of the unexpected, co-present with the asteroid house in the 7th house of your long-term committed love relationship that could indicate a really exciting and sudden opportunity to change your home in the course of the 2 weeks to 6 months after this new moon, with the eclipse coming through, the full moon eclipse coming through in September. This is probably more likely when the fulfillment of a new home would happen, but Jupiter's in the house of mortgages as well. So you just definitely could be looking at a new homecoming coming to a new home as a result of this incredibly powerful, magical new moon. Now, I don't know why you have Atlantis in the house of you. For this, are you flooding? Are you sinking below the waves? Or are you feeling haunted by the echo of Atlantis? I mean, how many of us here are? Most of us feel like we were there. I do. And, is there sort of an echo of Atlantis, a nostalgia for something that is no longer here going on for you as it applies to your fifth house? Or are you going to birth a baby from Atlantis? I don't know. You could say also with Apollo the sun god Apollo sitting in your 3rd house, that if you're somebody who does creativity online, or you're a writer, or you post your stuff on social media, that this new moon could give you a luscious opportunity for a viral hit. That's Uranus in the house of the audience, and a sort of solar leadership in the house of social media, online platforms, and online digital life. And so this could be a real glow up for some of you artists out there who put their stuff into the digital world. You could have a viral hit, like you write something in Substack and it goes viral. You put out a piece of music on TikTok and it goes viral. So that's a nice vibe for you. And if you want to see that happen, imagine it, dream it into being. Okay. 5th house is entrepreneurship. You could incite a dream of a new beginning in an entrepreneurial business. And if you're single, it's the house of romantic love, and Venus is coming back to make soulmate big love happen. So single Scorpios looking for love, shocking, surprising, sudden, exciting developments could happen. That's Uranus. And you might meet that person from traveling or in the local neighborhood pub where Apollo hangs out. And you might feel like you've known each other since Atlantis. Let me know how it goes over the next few months. Are you going to meet your soulmate from Atlantis? So if you are a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, The story is I've got my phone on, guys. I'm expecting a call from my doctor. It's not a big deal. I'm fine. Just about my blood work and stuff like that. So just in case you are like wondering if it rings and what's going on, I just have to let you know that I'm keeping it on. Okay. And I'm glad he's not calling me because my blood work's probably normal. That's what that means. Okay. So Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, it's a fourth house new beginning. Now, because eclipses are involved, and I started the video by telling you that, you're going to have a lot of North Node eclipses going through here over the course of the next 18 months. So there's going to be another one. There's one this September, one August of the year after, 2026. And the point of this is simple. The North Node will expand your home or ask you to move your home, expanding bigger, larger home, more space in the home, destined changes in and from the home. But this is a new moon that becomes a full moon eclipse in September. So a seed is being planted that definitely could change your home structures and lead to a new home, a move of home, a change of home, a destined change of home of some kind. And because we see the word child here and the wish fulfillment star scat, you may move your home because of a child, and your child may come into your home. Maybe a child is going to be born or a grandchild is going to come into your home, or you may just want to feel a sense of wonderment, or you could move back to the place you grew up, your childhood home. I don't know which one it is, but there's a lot about the word home and child and wish fulfillment and dreams come true. And if you've been feeling melancholic, lonely, uncertain, or anxious in your home, Saturn since 2023, some of you have, this could allow for a breakthrough in that energy. It is governed by the moon, is governed by Jupiter in the 7th house of committed love. He will either expand your life and bring you a big love story, and he's there until June, or he will try to get you out of a relationship that's not long-term and not good enough for you because you don't get what you want with him. He's the guru. You got what you need. And so if a relationship needs to end, there may be a change in your home because the person moves out, or you move your home because of them. Now, you also notice that you have Apollo, the god of the sun, in your earnings house connected to the moon. And there may be the possession of a new home to buy or sell, especially with Mars through until mid-April in the house of mortgages. You may sell a home or buy a home or transact a new home. And with the asteroid house in the house of leases and rentals, for some of you, it may simply be that you're going to lease out your current home or you're going to lease a new home. So there's a lot going on for Sagittarius, changing structures around your home life in a very powerful and destined way. And once in a lifetime, the value add of Skat and Neptune is do some visualizations about what you want. And if you have any unfixed stuff to do with Atlantean past lives, ancestral stories, and childhood trauma, Atlantis is in the house of past lives, you can really blow through that and clear that stuff out on such a powerful, magical, vision-oriented, imagination-fueled new moon. With Jupiter loving up everything, it's opportunity that comes from the 7th house. So look for business partnership opportunities, look for new important people to enter your life, but also the word guru. When Jupiter transits the 7th house, you may meet your teacher, your Sat guru, your true teacher. And because he's flowing to the 4th house, it could be somebody close to home, like you don't have to travel too far away. And don't discard the fact that you may have a true teacher looking for you. So this is interesting. It could be a guide, a mentor, a life coach, or it could literally be a spiritual teacher, because this moon is connected to the sun, and the sun rules your house of God and gurus. And so there may be indeed the potential for a guru in this story for you. All right. Thanks, Sagittarius. I hope that was useful. And I'd like to know if you have a quote about imagination. Do you want to join me on the Venus retrograde? Because she's going in and out of that 4th house of home and in and out of the house of romantic love and children. And there's a lot going on for you in that Venus story. Check out my Venus retrograde class, 6 weeks live with me, really affordable. There's still a discount code available. It's less than the super early bird price, but it's still affordable, 15% off. Check the description box under the video. I'll try to pin it to the comments as well. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, I'm going to start with Apollo. Are you feeling like a sun god? You've got Apollo transiting your sun, moon, or rising. Are you feeling a god, sun god, a powerful force of leadership in your career? Are you feeling like a sun god in your ascendant, any part of your life, including your physical health, well-being, or a sun god in your moon, your home life? But nonetheless, there's a sun god traveling through your sign. Just got there, so get used to it. Be there for a while. And with Apollo traveling there, Apollo supports this new moon. The new moon is in your third house. And by the way, the third house is travel. So a sun god could say, should you travel to a sunny place? That's so simple. Or a sunny, rocky place, Capricorn sun, rocky, sunny place. And the third house is your travel. Short distance, not like to Siberia or, far off, exotic lands. This would be in your own country usually, or, close at hand within your own state or country. So travel is indicated. New seeds are being planted here for an opportunity for a trip. The seed is planted on the February 27th lunation and will unfold over the course of up to a month after and 6 months after. So look for opportunities for travel. And Jupiter is saying golden opportunities are travel opportunities that are connected to the axis of service, seva, karmic debt repayment, and karmic closures, or travel connected to work opportunities as well. Jupiter is on the bullseye star. Any travel you do is on the bullseye. You're hitting the mark. This is not without meaning that wonderment and awe and visionary power and enlightenment god Neptune is in the house of short distance travel, and the asteroid child for childlike wonder and innocence, and Skat, the star, for using the power of your visualization and imagination like a creator to make it happen, to co-create with the divine. And some of your sage-like wisdom could be here. Sometimes I laugh because we think about Saturn as like the taskmaster or the schoolmarm, but he's also like the sagacity of the wise ages that we reach, our elder years. So you may come into contact with travel with a sage-like wise person or old person or elder. Visionary power with Neptune here and Mercury at the lunation, baking in a vibe. This will tie to a full lunation in September that is going to be an eclipse. So this new moon becomes a full moon in September, which is an eclipse in the same part of the sky, your third house. So things that you do now connected to travel, teaching and learning, writing and communicating, are even your online world, third house matters, will flourish into something destined and powerful in September. Asteroid house is sitting in your fifth house of children and romantic life. It's possible there's some changes connected to your children and the word house or home, unexpected or surprising, or romantic love partner and house and home. Now, you also have Atlantis in the house of friendship circles, social circles and groups, but this is also the house of your yearnings for what you wish to have. It's a house of desire, a Kama house of yearning. Maybe some of your deeper yearnings that flow to this moon are coming from lives long gone, in civilizations long past, and maybe there's a part of you that yearns for something ancient and lost in your own wishes and dreams. Where have you submerged your true wishes and desires of this life, and where can they become a visible force as they flow to this new beginning and new moon? The asteroid house with Uranus on a well star and the sun, the ruler of the eighth house, could bring luck to you. Lucky money situations that allow for a healing of a chironic wound about you not feeling like you have a home that you belong to or that your home belongs to you. This moon also encourages you to use your imagination, your mind, your thinking, your writing, you're communicating with yourself to visualize the truest home for you. And I think some of you will find that there could be that evolving new home that emerges from this storyline. Mars is cutting through the marriage house or connected to significant others, and there could be some involvement of a significant other in the wake of this lunation. It's a bit confusing because Mars likes to cut, end, and sever through to mid-April. But if a relationship doesn't end because of this, then there may also be relocation of neighborhood and home, a new moon, new beginning, in concert with a significant other. All right, Aquarius, I am indeed one of you. I'm in a rising sign, but you can listen today for sun and moon. Listen to the intro to my videos for why and how those are different. And if you want to come to my Venus retrograde class, I'd love to have you. Check my description box because this is going to impact your money, this Venus retrograde cycle. It starts on March 1st, it ends April 12th. And if you want to meet with me in a live Zoom call, where I'm going to teach you everything you need to know each week about what's happening with this retrograde, come join me. Information is below. It's live. It's got replays. It's got everything you want. It's got the description of the course below. Now look at Aquarians, fellow us. We don't suffer fools gladly anymore. And one of my Patreon community told me something really cool, a French phrase that just made me tickle me. It was the spit of the toad does not reach the wing of the dove or something. I'm going to go find the translation in French, like how you would actually say it. But he's like ignore the trolls and the naysayers, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting better at it. So Pluto is me breathing like Darth Vader at the open enemies and adversaries, which I call the trolls of my Leo house. And boy, some of you are really a piece of cake. So there is a huge amount of energy that's once in a lifetime, early March. And by the way, last week of March in the earnings, money, resources house, first in a lifetime, once in a lifetime opportunity. Thank you, Neptune, to dream into being with your imagination. And Saturn makes it real, your ideal financial situation. Now we have wonder and awe with asteroid childhood. The fixed star scat allows for us to open up doors of new beginnings. But of course, with the Eight of Cups, what do you need to walk away from? What has to be let go of so that this can be a cup, empty cup can be filled, right? Not a full cup. So you might have to let go some earnings and money ways in order to achieve new ones. Use this to visualize, use this to dream, use this to vision board something larger than life here. It's once in a lifetime, and it's harnessing a fated to destined eclipse. So this new seed, new moon that can unfold some evidence for itself in the 2 weeks that follow, the February 27th moon will show you the full like destiny factor with a full moon in Pisces that is an eclipse in September of 2025. This moon is governed by Jupiter, who owns it and is watching from the house of money luck. Not a bad idea for you, Capricorns as well. I talked about that, to buy a lottery ticket. So or win some money somehow, because Jupiter going direct till June the 9th. It's on fixed star Aldebaran now, the eye of the bull, the bullseye star, which can bring wealth and success. And luck is Jupiter and the house of money luck, just the house of good fortune. So this is extremely a fortunate moon for you. The square just means you need to take actions and decisions on your good fortune. That's all that means. Now, you could have some exciting news for a child. It looks like fertility. So one of your children could become pregnant with Jupiter here. It may be a little bit surprising or not. I don't know, but there's that. And that's over the next 6 weeks. And maybe your child could use some money from you because they're going to need a crib or a bigger house for their baby. But you'll have enough money to give. Okay, it'll be fine. Possibly if you have a lover, then your lover can have some luck as well, and can boost your financial wellness as well. Now, you're going to notice that the asteroids are involved. We have the asteroid Apollo, the sun god, flowing to this earnings. Apollo, the sun god, is in positive leadership and solar energy in the house of borderless income and revenue from far off distant shores, foreign entities. Is a foreign marketplaces. So there's a way you can make money online like I do. It's going to be an increase of that money for sure. Also, if you have to get rid of a food style addiction or self-undoing, Apollo shines light on it. And this new beginning in the house of what you put in your mouth allows for you to change that. You want to change your face, get a nose job, fix your, droopy eyes or something, then this is the house of your facial appearance. And there's new beginnings here as well. And over the 6 months that follow, look for evidence that could be something you're interested in doing. I've never done any surgery, and nor will I. It's always been like take off a weird looking mole, and that's about it. You might notice that the asteroid house is in the house of house, the house of the house, the house of the house, and the mouse in the house. I'm getting giddy. Look, the asteroid house is in the fourth house of home. And so you are looking at a surprising Uranian new beginning to possess a new home. It's exciting. I don't know why you get to possess a new home, to buy a new home, but you've got it, especially with Mercury, Lord of the Mortgages, and the new moon itself. So dream your dream home. I'm going to collage my dream home. Do you guys have any imagination quotes for me to encourage me to collage my dream home? Because I'm going to do it. I'm going to go into home magazines and I'm going to sit down at my dining room table and maybe I'll invite a friend over and I'm going to collage on this new moon. Or I'll do it by myself with candlelight and music and incense. So dreaming your new home for fellow Aquarians, or dreaming the possession of a new home or the money to have a new home, is a story that works for you very well. Will it happen in the 2 weeks that follow that this new home emerges? Not likely, but certainly by September's full moon eclipse and in the fall, a ripening of a new home. Now you have the asteroid Atlantis in your career in Scorpio. It is witnessing the moon in a flow. You might want to consider that there's parts of you that are ancient and wise and come from other times and places that maybe can apply to your career. Or could you look at it like your career wants to sink below the waves, but you have the money to allow for something to sink? Because the Decan is the Eight of Cups, where this is a new moon, and that's about also walking away from something. So do you have more to walk away from in your career or not? It's a possibility in order for something new to emerge. With Mars slicing through till mid-April, your sixth house of work and work routines and health routines, and the second house being food style, even more changes coming for your food style, but also even more changes in the way you do the work you do so that you can plant a seed of new beginnings, a flourishment of new earnings and possessions in your life, a new luscious fertility around money, earnings, and possessions. Of course, I probably should have started with Pisces because this is all happening in your sign. I apologize. I didn't think of that. You guys are overwhelmed with planetary forces because you're going to have in the first week of March and the last week of March, a huge amount of planetary energy, stellium energy, prey to planets, call it what you want. Prey to planets is more astronomical, I suppose, but this is within the bounds of Saturn. And on this new moon, asteroid, child, sun, moon, Saturn, Mercury, Neptune all together, and the North Node. I didn't even put the North Node in here, but just trust me. And the North Node of Fate is in here. And so the fulfillment of some incredibly powerful and destined energy. There's going to be an eclipse here in September. What is it that you're going to fulfill about your life? If it's your sun, it's about your Pisces sun. It's more about purpose and career. Pisces moon about your emotions and your home matters. And Pisces ascendant, any part of your life can be fulfilled because you are in a massive change and transformation. Ultimately, the North Node, South Node axis, South Node in Virgo is asking you to let go of your focus on other people and focus on yourself in a way that allows for you to really blossom in life. And yes, you could still meet a destined soulmate with this transit in the next 18 months through your seventh house, or health matters for an existing spouse or something. Okay, fine. But let's focus on this visionary power. Of all signs, you need to get down with Awake Imagination by Neville Goddard. Think and Grow Rich. The Game of Life and How to Play It. Start looking into some of the manifestation literature, okay? Because Neptune's not going to be with you for much longer. He was with you since 2011, but you couldn't use him properly. You were just confused a lot of the time, or you were flatlining, in fog and delusion and drug use and Neptune and escapism and miasmas of some sort. But then you got Saturn there starting in 2023 March to February of 26. Saturn says, take the dreams and fantasies and imagination and give it tangible, realistic boundaries and form. Make your dreams real. And you won't get this again in this lifetime. And it's coming to an end. So now this new moon is planting a seed. Visualize, imagine what it is you truly desire in your life with childlike wonder and the power of the star of wish fulfillment, Skat. Do it now while it's here. And then over the course of 2 to 3 weeks after the moon, look for evidence that your wishes are beginning to fulfill. And of course, by the time we get to the full moon eclipse, that's going to be the second act of this in September, you'll see the full extent of your powers. You will notice that Jupiter rules the lunation from the fourth house of home. You could be getting wealthy in your home, prospering in your home, expanding your home, moving your home, being bounteous and lucky in and from your home. And Jupiter's on that bullseye star. Ka-ching, bullseye. You have the asteroid Apollo, the sun god in the house of great career gains, allies, benefactors, and fulfillment of your dreams and wishes. Flowing to this moon, end of story. You have the asteroid house in the third house of neighbors and neighborhood, short distance travel, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. You may expand your home, add a cousin to your home, change your home to be in a new neighborhood, expand your home and neighborhood, have more people live in your home, go to a better neighborhood suddenly and unexpectedly regarding the word home, have a sibling connected to your home. Maybe you're going to, the asteroid house is in the house of the younger sibling. I wonder what the asteroid Atlantis wants from you in the ninth house of distant foreign shores. It could be an opportunity for a far offshore getaway and travel to a mystical site where temples are. The ninth house of God is the house of temples. And so mystical travel to temples and places that remind you of lost civilizations is a possibility that extends to you in the wake of this new moon, especially in the 6 months that follow. If you are somebody who works in the online world, Uranus house sextiling the new moon, some breakthroughs in your online social media, but maybe a new home in the online world. So maybe a new platform you're going to start up, a new website, a new identity in that environment. With Mars crossing through your fifth house of children, there's a possibility with the sextile from Mars to house that children and neighbors and neighborhood feature in. You might want to move closer to your children, a neighborhood closer to them. They may move into a neighborhood closer than you if you have children. Otherwise, you could find a new love story. South Node moving through your Virgo seventh house and Mars going through the house of romance and all of that. You might find yourself finding a new love. Venus will come back to Neptune, soulmate love, dream love for her second pass and third pass during this retrograde cycle. And so for you, if you're single and you're looking for love as a Pisces, this is a good one. So vision board and dream your ideal relationship. Don't visualize the person like blonde hair, and tall. I made that mistake one time, by the way. I did a full manifestation and I visualized the guy and I actually called him a playmate. What I got was a guy 10 years younger than me. We dated for almost 2 years, which is scary. And he was a playmate, but he was like a boy. He was in his 30s. I was in my 40s. And I was like finding myself like, shoot, be careful what you wish for. So you could be careful what you wish for here. Don't give the universe the wardrobe and the hair color of your desired mate. Give the universe what you want to feel in that relationship. I want to feel heard. I want to laugh a lot. I want to feel like we're best friends. I want to feel like they've got my back and I've got theirs. I want to feel like we love to snuggle together. Like picture what it is you want to have in the relationship. Now, if you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean you can't visualize what you want in that relationship. But if you don't have one yet, it's that South Node transit through your seventh house could bring in a destiny partner for you in the next 18 months. All right. So I'm just giving you some guidance there, having misdirected the universe by giving the universe specifics, tall, dark, and handsome. The guy was 6'4", a playmate. He was 10 years younger. Like, oh my God. It was wonderful at first, but then I started to become a mama. I realized I was 10 years older was too much for me. Oh my God. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It does help the channel grow. And then I grow the channel. And I feel like doing these videos because I'm getting like a dopamine hit, the rat on the lever. And check out the Venus retrograde class and like, subscribe, and the whole deal. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao. Enjoy this beautiful week ahead with a highlight of the lunation. I didn't even bother to talk about anything else this week ahead. The thing you need to focus on is that lunation on Thursday, on February 27th or the 28th in your time zone. Alrighty. It goes over both days. Bye-bye.